if you look at the system that we're in, everybody's been affected. Everybody has a reason to behave the way they do because everyone has let them down. It's the truth. So it's you can't judge somebody. You can just bear your cross. And then hopefully if you do the work well enough, you touch enough people that they also change and want to bear their cross.
Welcome to Africa Business Radio. I am Chukunonso Modi. So the applications for the APH prize competition is still on. Now, an amazing initiative by the Jack Ma Foundation, APH aims to identify, support, and inspire the next generation of African entrepreneurs who are making a difference in their local communities, working to solve the most pressing problems, and yielding a more sustainable and inclusive economy for the future. Today, Violet Awo Amoabeng, founder and CEO Skin Gourmet Limited Ghana and APH 2021 Top 10 finalist, is here with us, and she'll be telling us about her experience and her innovation as well. Welcome, Violet. It's a pleasure to have you here.
Oh, hi. Thank you so much for such a warm welcome. I'm glad that you invited me to the show.
All right. So let's get right into it. Briefly tell us about you and your business, Skin Gourmet.
Okay, so my name is Violet Awo Amoabeng, and I am from Ghana. I started Skin Gourmet in 2014 while I was working at a bank in Ghana. And glory be to God, the bank went down in 2017, and I have this business to run full time. So Skin Gourmet, we make raw handmade skincare, and it's sourced from the wilds of Ghana, and it's so pure that you can eat it. The whole point of Skin Gourmet at first was to make products that were super safe, that was based in Ghana so we could create jobs. And then eventually we realized the name Skin Gourmet, what it meant was it was almost as if it was predestined to be an edible skincare brand. So most skincare brands say that the ingredients are edible. Ours, the skincare, is actually edible, so it's versatile. So after doing this for quite a while, we're now almost 7, is when I met ABH. And I met ABH because I was online trying to find ways to improve myself as a leader and as a business person. And by going through the program, that's how come we're now getting exposure, and it's really helping our brand.
Amazing.
Currently, we're now exporting to over 25 different countries.
Wow, that's an amazing feat. Now, I like the fact that your brand, like you rightfully said, some brands will tell you you can eat it, but yours is obvious that it's healthy. It's not just, throwing a bunch of chemicals. Now, reading your profile, I saw something really interesting, and that was Skin Gourmet started with 445 Ghana cedis, which is $45 at that time. Now, this pushes me to ask this question. I mean, what was that defining moment for you? When did you say, okay, I want to start Skin Gourmet? And how much did that moment push you? That you started with something so little, you had so much faith with something so little.
Yeah. So I had gotten a sore on my lip. This happens in Hamatan, the dry season. And so it kept splitting my top lip in the middle. And I was using all these creams when I just come back from the States. And it just was not going. So I went to the pharmacy, and they were like, I thought it was a cold sore. I was like, no, it is not a cold sore. I do not have herpes. So my friend was like, Violet, why don't you try shea butter? And I thought, shea butter? Like, really? But then I tried it. Within 3 days, it was gone. No scarring, nothing. And I was shocked because this is a single ingredient, right? It's one ingredient. So I started reading all the packaging of all the creams I was using and finding out that most of those ingredients were not for me. It was to sell products like a fragrance, a texturizer, a preservative. These things are not to help me. So I said, you know what? With no experience at all, with no research at all, I'm like, I am going to make the best body butter the world has ever seen. And I just moved. So I went to the bank, took out all my savings. Yes, it was 145. I was not very good at managing money at that time. Essential oils. So I said, can you please send me some essential oils? And he did. And then I started selling my first batch. So I made three containers, and it was this plastic container from the market, very cheap. And then I designed my logo myself from PowerPoint. I printed my labels from my printer, and then I printed the seals from my printer. I cut it off with scissors, put a glue stick in the back, and put on the packaging. And I mean, I was so proud of it because with such a small budget, I've been able to make a product. Now, my formulation was not that great, and I stored it in my wardrobe, one of the first drawers, just 3. And then I went to church, and I said to God, have you seen my wardrobe? Give me a business. And that is how it started. But even before that, I'd always known I wanted to help people. You know, I didn't know how, because I come back from America and people are begging in the streets. People are selling things when they're head in the sun. And it's a bit difficult for me to ignore it and act like it's not happening. So I was very moved because I felt that you can't blame the government. You can't blame other people for how someone's poverty is making you feel. So I decided that this is my problem and I'm going to fix it. I didn't know how, but when I discovered Skin Gourmet, I was going to do it. I realized that this is why I was doing it, because I was going to create things for other people and leave something behind so that people could continue to benefit from it. But it had to be a product that would not harm even the environment or disrupt the value chain in any way negative, but had to edify people throughout the system.
Amazing. Like I love how much passion, and I love the idea behind Skin Gourmet. So, you know, it's not just providing skincare to people, but one that will actually work for them and not harm them instead. Now, let's talk about this ABH prize competition. Now, you're one of the 2021 top 10 finalists. So tell us about this initiative. How's the competition like?
Okay, so first, the ABH competition came to me like at the exact right time. Because as an African entrepreneur, I mean, the systemic challenges alone, it's something else to surmount. And then you're working for people so that they're better, but you'd be surprised what people can take you through. So what that competition did for me was that if there are people that are willing to help you when they don't owe you, because they can see you're helping people, it boosted me to keep helping people because I knew that other people would also help me if I had my heart in the right way. So when they came in, I really needed them at that time. And they didn't just come in. It's not the grants. It was the mentorship, you know, the exposure to industry experts that can look at your idea and be frank with you and tell you, you're being a bit silly about this. There's an opportunity here. Change your model. And, you know, at first you might be taken aback or feel that, they might be against you, but really it's not. They come in, they're very precise and they know what they're talking about. And their intentions is very good, I felt, because they understood the impact part. So it's not as if they're just there to make you generate revenue so that you just be profitable. But it's that how do you generate revenue and be profitable and still be impactful? So one thing I learned from them was, as much as my passion is for people, there's no way my company can help people if I don't make profit. And that's what I loved about them. Yeah. And even till now, after we won, they still are supporting us. They still are giving accelerator programs. They're still introducing us to people. They're still calling junior financial analysts. So it's not as if competition's over or done. No. They're still there checking on you. How's it going? And making sure you're continuously making impact and then giving the support, which has been amazing.
Yes, definitely amazing. So you're saying that this competition is not just like any other, but really unique. They don't not at all. And even when you're competing, even the way they choose your competitors, they're not your competitors. They're competitors, but we don't really relate that way. What it is their opportunities. They have a lot more to offer you and network, and they'll help you with your networking. So it's a beautiful experience because it teaches you that even though it's a competition, like business is competition, you have to pay attention. And you have to pay attention to see the opportunities that are there that you may think are playing against you, but actually could be a way to open the door. So it was very deep because you could tell that it's structured extremely well to not just help in your business, but help you to think. And I think that's something that a lot of us as Africans, sometimes we don't have time to do because you're thinking about short term. But this one allows you to open your eyes and all the time, look, there's always an opportunity, even if you think it's difficult. Yes, amazing. Okay, so you started Skin Gourmet at 2014, yeah? And you went in for the ABH prize competition in 2021. So now tell us, how was Skin Gourmet before ABH and after? How did ABH impact growth?
Well, Skin Gourmet was, I guess we were growing. I just say it's by the grace of God because I'm more concerned about passion. I don't even look at my books.
Okay.
But then it started to, this was after COVID, right?
Yes.
And yeah, we did okay in COVID, again, Greece. But then, things start to get hard. And I'm not sure what exam I'm supposed to be looking at. And I know that I'm doing well for the little that I have, but it started to dawn on me that this is not good enough. So after ABH, there was one thing that there's one reason why I was on top 3 in the competition. I remember why. Because this was a problem that I was trying to tackle and I thought I could get away with it by saying that I'll figure it out later. But after the competition, I was forced to figure it out. And I realized that what the judges were telling me, it wasn't that they don't care about impact. They just understood that there's no way it can grow without it. So I've changed my business model, and now all of a sudden I have big doors opening where I can actually export bulk because I have to change my model. Yes. And be able to supply. So it's great because I feel that ABH knows that there's a lot of African people who, yes, it's hand to mouth, but they kind of pull them out. They're able to pull out the entrepreneurs who are there to benefit themselves. And then they kind of spot those who really want to help people, but perhaps they don't really understand that you need to make money first. And so then they teach you how to do that and to understand that business must be profitable. It must be, otherwise it will not work. And then they show you the best way to do that with integrity, with skill, with knowledge, with mentors, with, even help you with even just your structure. So they're allowing us to, even though I studied in the States, when you come back to Africa, it's a whole different ballgame. But being able to think allows you to adapt your structure to your environment while creating impact.
Yes. I like that you said ABH taught you to not only help people, but also make profit. Because some businesses struggle with balancing that, trying to create a brand that cares about the well-being of its customers and also making money. And you find that some people even peak, especially in the skincare industry, they peak profit more than their customers. So amazing.
So go ahead.
All right. So speaking of challenges, that's one of the challenges. I was really inspired by the fact that you said starting Skin Gourmet was after having an issue and you had to go natural and it worked. So tell us, what are the challenges in the skincare industry? There's a lot of
I don't even know. Oh my, it's not, I don't think it is in the skincare industry. I think, for example, it's very easy to thrive in the skincare industry internationally. Because you can differentiate easily based on the raw materials you have if you're focused on your own brand guide. The issue is when you look at markets like ours, where if they think someone's making money, then they saturate it. But they do it thinking that this person's making money, I'm going to make money, without really analyzing what their strength is. And so what happens is that you get all this competition and you have to, it's actually good. You have to learn how to differentiate from that. It's very difficult though, because you'll be surprised how even people are close to you backstab you for formulas. And all of these things, it demotivates a person. Then you have the other issue where everyone says this is an issue. And it's, with human resources in Ghana and Africa, they're like, this is how Ghanaians are. It's not that. It's that we as leaders are too lazy to understand that it is our problem we have to fix. But it is extremely demotivating too, because, you expect a person to be grateful. But you have to realize that you should be grateful that you can give the person something to be grateful for. And it's a very hard thing to change your mind and decide that regardless of what people may do, I'm still going to help. So that's another challenge people have, which is human resources. But if you don't get your people stuff right, you're not building anything. Oh, and then on top of that, you have your whole country with all of its challenges and problems. I mean, taxes, that inflation, a lot of problems. But you see, again, you can't really blame the government. There's only so much they can do. You can't really blame the system. There's only so much they can do. So you decide that, okay, it's hard, it's difficult, but you bear your cross and you decide what you're doing on purpose and you just do it. And when the hard things come, you actually be grateful for them, because you learn something in it and you become a little bit stronger. But that doesn't mean it's not going to get harder, because it is. So this is just a few this is a few of the problems, but I could go on and on. It's like almost anything you can think of, there's a problem there.
Yes, I agree on that. Now, how is Skin Gourmet, trying to solve these challenges?
So I decided that when we first we applied for the competition, the problem we were trying to address was giving the consumer good skincare. Okay. But I realized that that's not the problem. The problem is Ghana as an economy is not doing well. So we need to find a way to use our own resources to create something premium that adds value to everyone in the value chain that you can export. So that is now the reason I do what I do. It is about the value chains you create, the way you create decent work and economic growth, how you make sure you don't harm the environment so that you can export, certifications, all of that. So the whole, what drives me in Skin Gourmet, or what makes me so passionate about Skin Gourmet now, is realizing that it's not about me. It's about coming together as a country, or coming together as Africans, and realizing that we need to get our own country beyond aid, and we cannot blame anybody but ourselves.
Amazing. Yes, true. I agree. You can't blame anybody but ourselves. We tend to always shift the blame to the government. Like you said, they have their part in their play, but we don't like to admit that we also have a part to play in what's going on.
Mm-hmm. Exactly that. And I think that's one of the biggest problems, and the person is corrupt and this and that. But you see, if you look at the system that we're in, everybody's been affected. Everybody has a reason to behave the way they do because everyone has let them down. It's the truth. So it's you can't judge somebody. You can just bear your cross, and then hopefully, if you do the work well enough, you touch enough people that they also change and want to bear their cross. And as you said, it's interesting because even though I'm passionate about people, ABH has taught me that I need to also make that money. Because if you don't have that money, you are not going to change anything.
I agree with that. Okay, still on ABH, can you share tips for, successful entry to the competition, as someone who has been there and done that?
Yes, I can. So, the first one is to be thorough in your application and to know that the business you are introducing must be scalable. What I mean is, if you just want to serve Ghana, you're going to have difficulty getting to the next stage, because what ABH is trying to do is to impact Africa. So the dream has to be big. The other one is, because we already know the competition is about impact, a lot of people come with a problem to solve that is like a sub story, right? Yeah. But don't go take that approach, because they can read right through it. You have to be authentic about your reason, even if you're all about profit. See how your profit can help other people as you make your profit. But be real about it. And then also take your time to think through your idea so that you can be concise. Writing full essays and repeating yourself and using, those words everybody likes to use. I'm interested in this, I'm passionate about this, I'm motivated. It's also be different, because you have to remember that it's a TV show. So you also have to be entertaining and quite candid and be truthful, and I think that would help you, because even if you may not win, when you tell the truth, they can give you truthful feedback. But if you don't say it as it is, you can't get help, because they don't know what they're dealing with. And even if the first time you don't make it, maybe you make top 50, you can try again, because the competition is for people up to 50 years old or something like that. I think it's open up to everyone. So also look for help if you need help. All the top 10 contestants and even other people who've made it will actually help you if you reach out. Like yesterday, I was on the phone with 4 other applicants trying to help them with their applications. So it's a competition that really wants to help. It's not trying to not help anybody. Even when you're done, as contestants, we're also motivated to also help other people, because we know that by helping them, it's going to help all of us.
Yeah, it's amazing. I like that, it's a competition that keeps giving. So, you pass the torch to the next people come in. Okay. Yeah. Now, let's talk about, getting to top 10 finalists. Now, why do you think the judges chose you and Skin Gourmet, to scale to that point?
I think, number one, I had gone through a lot of accelerated programs. I'm always trying to learn. So I had an understanding of my business. It wasn't a brand new thing. I started yesterday. I'd gone through a lot of challenges. I was 7 years old. So I understood my business, number one, and I had a team. And we were already making impact. So instead of saying you're going to make impact, you always have to show them how you're already doing it even before the competition. It can be verified. Then, of course, your due diligence. Do you have a brand gap? Do you have a company profile? Do you pay your taxes? Do you have audited statements? So these things are important for any entrepreneur to understand that as much as ABH is going to help you, they're not just going to give money to a company that cannot be verified. There's no due diligence. And the reason is, we all know ourselves. There's a lot of fraud in Africa. So of course, they have to do their work. So it's good to have a track record and to also understand, because if you are lying, if they ask you one thing today and it's something tomorrow, these judges are extremely intelligent. So you must have a proper vision that you are really going after and build everything around that. Then you're consistent. So I think that was what they saw. And also maybe they could also see that I was by myself really struggling and I needed the help in terms of guidance, because I was open to advice. I was willing to listen and apply. And being open like that and being truthful that you can't do it or you don't know also helps them, because then they can help you. And so I think that may have motivated them, because they know that the knowledge they're passing on to me, I am actually going to try my best to apply it. And not only that, when they invest in me, I will continue to invest in others. That's something that's very important for them, that you don't just accept it and then it's all on you. You have to pass it on.
Yes, amazing. Okay, so let's go back to Skin Gourmet now. Now, times are changing. The industry is evolving every day. Like you said, brands too are emerging. So currently, what is your company doing in order to be a better fit for the African market?
One thing we're really working on is innovation. And we're looking at scaling up. And we're finding ways to continue to make the product handmade, but to make it more efficient in how it's made so that we can serve a larger market. We're also applying for more grants and looking for more training so we can understand our market better. And then we're expanding our product range and we're diversifying, because after COVID, it's best to have 2 markets if you can, or 3. Can't keep your eggs in the same basket. And then even more than that, we're delving more into what is here in our country, because every country is different. So if you specialize here, you can compete with the world, because the world doesn't have what this place has. And even if all the Ghanaians decide they're going to do it, that's only 32 million people, of which less than 10% will even make it. And after five years, probably only 2%. So it's focusing on what we are doing and on our vision, and even revising our vision and understanding the things that we say. So for example, we say people over profit. And most people will take it the wrong way, that it means that we're an NGO. No. People over profit means you need to make profit for the people. And we just changed that recently, understanding it, yes. And also understanding that we have to be more competitive. It's not a matter of his passion, that's it, no. This is real. You really want to make that money for your country, you have to go out there, you have to compete. So you need to know, you need to learn, you have to grow. There's no excuses. And it's not a bad thing to want money if you have the right intention for it.
Definitely, it's not a bad thing, honestly. I mean, you need money to push the business, Yeah,
exactly. Yeah.
Honestly, I love the passion with which you are talking about your business. I mean, to think since 2014 and you're still as passionate as, when you started until this point. I mean, that's really amazing to hear.
For sure. Thank you.
Okay. You're welcome. So now, being an entrepreneur is definitely not an easy thing. You've spoken about your challenges along the way and how even regardless, you're still standing. So now, this competition by the Jack Ma Foundation, how is it helping entrepreneurs in Africa? What gap is it closing when it comes to entrepreneurship?
I think a lot of Africans, most of us are blessed, not most, very few of us are blessed to study abroad. And when you study abroad, that exposure helps you to understand how businesses work on a global scale. Now, people want to maybe go to school online. I'm sorry, it's not as effective. You have to really be exposed. You have to really see how people are operating outside the books work. So I think what ABH is doing is that when it comes in to see your African business that you started with your little knowledge, it then inputs value because Alibaba is a global player. And the Jack Ma Foundation is related to Alibaba or Alipay. These are big players. And these are big players globally that are coming into your little African business to show you how you can be a big player globally. And so you have to really pay attention and be grateful for the opportunity and be open to learn, because as much as you think you know, you don't know. That doesn't also mean that you take everything they say and that's it. They don't tell you to do that. But again, you have to think, and that's the thing. We're not pushed, like for example, in Ghana, in schools, they're not pushed to think. They're pushed to think a certain way in a box. But this one says, break it out of the box. Think of different models. What is wrong with this one? What is wrong with that one? What's the possibility here? And then also change your mindset. It's hard, yes, but if you overcome it, there's an opportunity there. Everything that is difficult, very few people can do, and those people who do it benefit.
Amazing. So I like the fact that you put in the advice, because one thing that entrepreneurs don't see is that, you're not a fountain of knowledge alone. No man's an island, if I can say that. So you need to get from, always be open to learning from knowing from other people. Yes, amazing. All right. Thank you so much for coming on the show, Violet. I learned so much from you, not just about ABH, but your brand. Please, for our listeners, how do we, get to tap into Skin Gourmet?
Okay, so you can find us online, skingourmet.com, SKINGOURMET.com. You can find us on Instagram, Skin Gourmet GH. And if you look us up on Google, you can Google my name. You can still contact us. You can Google us Skin Gourmet and you can contact us. But we are available pretty much worldwide. So reach out. My email address, violet@skingourmet.com.
Amazing. I definitely can't wait to see this product. I know, and especially what makes it really unique for me is the fact that it is natural, no preservatives, and I can eat it. Being a foodie as I am.
Yes. You will love it.
All right. Okay. So thank you once more.
Thank you so very much for the opportunity. I'm grateful.
No problem. It's fine. All right. That was Violet Awo Amoabeng, founder and CEO, Skin Gourmet Limited, Ghana. More coming your way. Stay tuned.